Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dark Phoenix Gaming, and you are watching what's going to be a brand new series that I basically do on the casual, because it's going to be quite casual. Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter will be aware of this, but I'm currently teaching myself web development. Well, I say teaching myself. It's about 50% self-taught, and the other 50% is a boot camp that I'm attending for full stack web development. I'll put a link to the one that I'm going to down in the description in case anyone's curious, but yeah. Anyways, I wanted to start doing some web dev content here on the channel because I really love doing it and it's a lot of fun to me. It's also what I spend about 89% of my free time on these days. The other 11%, well, 8% of the rest is video games. And the last 3% is listening to free music at the local brewery while I drink a beer. So yeah. Anyways, what I'm going to be doing today for my first little bit of coding content on the channel is FreeCodeCamp. Now, I actually have the certifications for FreeCodeCamp for the responsive design, as we call the curriculum, and JavaScript algorithms and data structures. And I've gotten all the way to the projects for the front-end libraries, which is like React, Bootstrap, jQuery, and what have you. But the version of the web certification I did is apparently legacy now, meaning there's a new one, and I wanted to go through that, so I thought it would be fun to record it. Even if I've done the projects associated with it already, I might actually redo them on camera, even if I won't repost them or anything. But let's get started. The first part of this is, it says right here, learn HTML by building a cat photo app. And I'll also be using FreeCodeCamp's preview of what we'll be building. As I said, not that interesting. And I'll read out everything just because if you haven't done coding before, you aren't that familiar with software development, then this will be new to you, and I want to hopefully get more people into it, because it's a very enjoyable field. And if you're wondering what's up with my webcam, that's a filter that I have with OBS, and it's basically a way to simulate using a green screen without having a green screen, because I don't have one, unless I decided to spend the $150 odd on the Elgato, the collapsible one. I probably don't have enough space in my room to keep one, because I'd have to be disassembling it and reassembling it every single time. But anyways, let's get to the actual content. We have index.html. The version with FreeCodeCamp, it starts you out very basic because there's a lot of stuff that the automated boilerplate you'll get in a traditional code editor would throw down that this doesn't give you, at least at the start. So that's something to bear in mind. Step 1. HTML elements have opening tags like h1 and closing tags like /h1. Find the h1 element and change its text to cat photo app. And the h1 is right here where it says hello world. change that. And, well, this won't be the case for a number of online code editors like FreeCodeCamp's built-in one. If you're using an on-system editor like Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, Atom, or Brackets, or any number of the others, generally, if you put in the opening tag, then you start to put in the closing tag, it will automatically create that closing tag for you. And there's some other stuff you can do to just make it easier to write the stuff that's kind of tedious. But that is what a completed H1 tag looks like, at least at the very basic levels. Check our code, and it passes. Can submit and go on to the next challenge. The H1 to H6 heading elements are used to signify the importance of content below them. The lower the number, the higher the importance, so H2 elements have less importance than H1 elements. Only use one H1 element per page, and place lower importance headings below higher importance headings. Below the H1 element, add an H2 element with the text cat photos. So yeah, the best way I can think to describe it is that the H1 tags are generally, basically H1 tags are the title for the entire page. The H2s are titles for a section, H3s are like a subsection, and that's generally how I use them. Like, I'll give you an example from my portfolio, as it is right now, which isn't very good and is going to get redone at some point. H1 is my name, which is right at the top. H2 is the tagline, which is web developer, or front-end developer, or whatever it is. It's the tagline that describes who I am and what I do. I think that's the best way to describe it, really. Step 3 now. The P element is used to create a paragraph of text on websites. Create a P element below your H2 element and give it the text of "click here to view more cat photos." And yes, I could just type that in, but since they're giving me the text, it's a lot faster to just copy it. That's successful. And throughout, when you're using FreeCodeCamp, they will nag you to give them some money, which is fair. They are a non-profit, so it makes sense that they'd want you know, to donate a little bit. I'll do that when I'm not on video, because I don't want to show my personal credit card or PayPal information or anything, since I'm not good enough at video editing to be able to cut stuff like that out. But yeah, the paragraph tags are just the general paragraph content. It's stuff like this, just standard text content on a page, essentially. And step 4 is where they introduce a little something called comments. Commenting allows you to leave messages without affecting the browser display. It also allows you to make code inactive. Comment in HTML starts with the less than symbol, an exclamation mark, and 2 dashes. It contains any number of lines of text and ends with 2 dashes and a greater than. For example, the comment to do remove h1 contains the text to do remove h1. Add a comment above the p element with this text. When it comes to comments in HTML and CSS, I'm not actually very good at remembering the syntax. Because it's not somewhere I do a lot of commenting. On the actual programming side of things, JavaScript, React, etc., I do a lot more commenting because you're doing actual programming rather than just styling and markup, which requires, in general, taking I put in the thing from the example rather than the actual what it wanted us to do. Oh well. That's what it looks like when your code doesn't pass. There we go. But yeah. Commenting in general, I find works out better for stuff like, let's see, when you're doing a programming language rather than markup or styling. And if you're wondering about the music, I have the Code Radio running on Spotify right now. I'm going to try to remember to pause and cut out any advertisements that I get during it, but I don't make any promises. I like to have music running while I'm coding. It helps me focus, I find. It's also the reason why noise-canceling headphones, like this Bose Quiet Comfort pair I've been rocking for about a year now, possibly more, I'm not sure, are always on my head whenever I'm writing code, unless I'm playing music from my monitor speakers or something. Step 5. HTML5 has some elements that identify different content areas. These elements make your HTML easier to read and help with search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO, and accessibility. Identify the main section of this page by adding a main opening tag after the H1 element and a closing main tag after the paragraph. So we want to start main right there and then close it right here. Yes, these elements are part of what you'd call semantic HTML, so there's another tag we'll get into later on called div, and these sorts of tags are functionally the same as just divs, but from a perspective of stuff like screen readers and telling the SEO optimization or whatever what this section contains, they are a lot better. I mean, if I wanted to, instead of main, we could put a div there and just identify it as being main through some other stuff that we're going to get into later. But